Well, once again, I'm out there making it another great day, and today I'm in Tampa, at the port of Tampa. You know where the big cruise ships come in? You know, not the Love Boat, but cruise ships. And they have this big, gigantic cargo ship here, which is the SS American Victory. And they say it's one of 3 left in existence of, I forget how many they made, a bunch. It's got a deep history. It's right here, Port of Tampa, and we're going to go on it, take a tour, and see what this thing's all about. I'm excited about this. I love going to finding, especially a big, gigantic military ship. Who wouldn't love that? That's coming at you right now. The SSS American Victory, right outside of the Port of Tampa, right on the Port of Tampa where the cruise ships come in. And this is a big vessel right inside of the SS American Victory Museum. The SS American Victory was a cargo ship. They built it in only 55 days as a workhorse for World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Could it be Rosie, the riveter? She's here. I don't see her riveting gun, but she's ready. I'm just inside of the American Victory Ship and Museum right here in Tampa Bay at the Port of Tampa. We're going to do a little tour. This here says it's the captain's desk, and I'm looking for the tour guide. It don't look like the tour guide to me. He looks like a mannequin. Maybe the tour guide's around here somewhere and we can get this tour started.
The workhorse vessels of World War II were the cargo ships. Without the cargo ships, the Marines, the Army would have had nothing to function with. No fuel, no ammunition, no food, not much of anything. So the cargo ships are going to be the lifeblood, if you will, of the entire military movement. Now, the most famous of all of the cargo ships is going to be the Liberty ship. This is a model of a Liberty ship. The very first one was named Patrick Henry. And of course, Patrick Henry is the gentleman that said, "Give me liberty or give me death." So, all of this model of vessel will be the Liberty ship. The one that you're standing on is a Victory ship. The Victory ship is the upgraded version of the Liberty ship. What happened to these ships? Most of these were sold to other countries and companies that needed to replenish their fleet of merchant ships because so many had been sunk during the war. Okay? Today there are only 2 Liberty ships left. One is at the National Maritime Museum in San Francisco, and the other one is in Baltimore. Okay? Of 550 Victory ships, they had a contract for 1,000. 550 were built. Of the 550, there's only 3 that are left. And if you come over to the railing, you can take a look down to the bottom of the ship. So, how is this vessel loaded? First of all, you remove the hatch up above. And so that came out to the open Florida sunshine. And then you removed all of the planking and then all of these steel girders. all the way down to the very bottom level down there. And of course, you would load all 5 holds at the same time. Generally 24, 36 hours to load this entire vessel. Loading all 5 holds at the same time, everything coming in nets. And of course, as soon as it got to the bottom, you had a whole crew of longshoremen, dock workers, stevedores, day laborers, pulling the cargo out of the nets and moving it back to either side, packing, stacking, and tying down. We've got rigging gear over there. We've got communication gear there behind you, and we've got life-saving gear on this side. So if any of these kind of, interest you and you want to come back and take a closer look, if it doesn't say do not touch or no admittance, it's a hands-on museum. Touch it, look at it, read the label. And we actually have cans of emergency water over here long before bottled water was popular. 2 weeks ago, we had the Gasparilla Parade here in Tampa. And for those of you that are out-of-towners, that is a day where all the city fathers dress up like pirates and they invade the city on a ship that looks just like that one. And so it's a great day for a great parade and some public drunkenness. Now, the booming system was controlled by the 2 boxes over here. So one operator would stand between them and control 2 booms at the same time. Okay? And you do have to be careful on a ship where you're walking because there's all kinds of interesting things to trip over. As a little personal note, 2 weeks ago I was standing here talking about the booming system and said the boxes over there with like the little joysticks on it. And folks are like looking all around. So I'm going to walk over there and show them. So I turned around, walked right here, and landed right there. Face down. Be careful where you walk, because as we continue forward, there's all kinds of lines, and the ship gets narrow there, and there's lots of places to trip over. But I hadn't gotten to that part yet, because I do that after I talk about that, which was just before I fell. The ship's bell was used to tell time back before we had clocks. So you got 1 ring every half hour. And so at 8 bells, it was a 4-hour time period. Shift change, and you started the bells over again. So, you wake up in the middle of the night and hear the bells and you know what time it was within the half hour. The forward gun mount. This is a 3-inch gun. And of course, it's not good for shooting submarines. And that would be your biggest problem. And then late in the war, it would be kamikazes. It's not going to be good for shooting an aircraft either. So my personal opinion is that these were armed to give the crew a false sense of security, like, oh, we could fight back.
I asked him if this right here was where they was covering the pool, maybe the pool deck, but this is not the Love Boat.
Now, on the old sailing ships, this is where you had the figurehead, okay? And remember, on the old sailing ships, you didn't have young ladies at all. You just had gnarly old sailors. And so when Mother Nature called, where did you answer the call? You went to the head of the ship and hung over on one side or the other, and you did your business.
That is a big porthole there for sure. It's like the fire station number 3. This right here is where they have a stage set up that you could rent this for a party, he says, and have the drinks out here and party down here on the old ship, the American Victory Party.
These are not beds, they're not bunks, they're racks. So if you've ever heard a Navy or a Marine guy say they need to hit the rack, they mean they're going to bed. So you'll notice that they're 3 high, and so as you count across, and there's only 2 on that far wall, that's 17, and the 3 highest ranking would be across the hall, across the passageway in that other room where you just had 3 guys in one room. You can see that it's quite warm in here. The only ventilation in here, because they didn't turn the air conditioning on, and it's too late in the day to probably do that, are from the portholes. If the ship is moving forward, you would get a good airflow coming in those 2 portholes on either side. If you were in a war zone, those would be shut and blacked out, so there would be no ventilation. Now, of course, you wouldn't smell, but your 16 roommates do. Beginning of the war, when none of the merchant ships were armed, the Germans would surface and use their deck gun to sink the ship. Once the armament got on these vessels, they didn't do that anymore. But unless they surfaced, you couldn't use these guns to shoot at them.
Here's a big gigantic lifeboat up here. I don't think all these people could fit in this, maybe, possibly. Here's a smaller lifeboat, maximum 12 persons in this boat, and it would probably do the job.
Alright, as you can see from the main steering wheel over here, you don't have a lot of good visibility. 5 portholes and you can't see anything. So if you're at sea, you would be using instruments like the compass. Now, the problem with a compass on a steel vessel surrounded by so much steel, it's not very accurate. So a guy by the name of Kelvin came up with this thing that if you put a steel ball on either side, that would somehow calibrate this thing to keep it accurate. And depending on how near or far you are from the equator, these are adjustable that they could be moved in and out to keep this thing accurate. So how far do you move them and how far above or below the, I don't know. He's smarter than I am. So he had that figured out. Up top, there was a little pipe up there. It was a talking tube, and this is the other end of it, so the captain can stand here and shout, or the navigator, which would be in the chart room there, could shout, and whoever's up there steering the ship would hear. Now, this device is going to tell the engine room how fast and which direction the captain wants to go. So right now it's on stop. If you wanted to go ahead at a slow speed, you just crank this thing back and forth, ringing bells, and stop it on ahead slow.
It's the captain's quarters. This here does look like captain's quarters with the office and a place to eat over here. Sounds like some Morse code coming in. We may be under attack. I'm not sure. Hit the deck. They've even got some primitive showers here. Room for one. This is the gyro room. Not where they make the gyro sandwiches, gyro sandwiches. I think it's a compass, a gyro compass. This here is the medical room. I don't see Bernie Coppell, Doc from the Love Boat, in here at all. I bet you his quarters was nicer than this. And at the end of the ship tour, they have some American Victory merchandise. Here's a pretty cool We Can Do It t-shirt, and they do have some hats and some cool drinks. They also have set up here a ship's wheel, kind of like the one that's in the main room that runs the ship. Down here near the gift shop and the start of the museum, where you can get behind this thing and take a selfie. Oh my goodness, what a wonderful tour here at the SS American Victory Ship and Museum. And our tour guide George was awesome. Can't thank him enough for letting me get him on here and giving us a little tour. And it was hot, it was a little warm at times, but a lot of information and a lot of history about this cargo ship, and it's one of 3 left in existence. And excuse me, I had to get me a cold drink because it was a little warm, and I got a little bit of a breeze coming in, and I do like that. But this was fun. I like to get out and find stuff like this. Definitely check them out at their website on the link in the description and on the screen. They also do a haunted zombie thing here on this ship. My good buddy Tampa Bay, he was here for that last Halloween. They're going to do that again, I think, this year. Plus, they're getting ready to go. You can book they're going to do a cruise around Tampa Bay, and just a few miles out here on this ship. It's actually going to set sail from the dock here at the port of Tampa. This old American cargo ship, and they have tickets available for that. You can probably find the information of that on their website. This was awesome. Another awesome day. It was hot. It's in the 80s in February, but it's Florida. Appreciate you subscribers out there. Keep hitting the subscribe button. I can't thank you enough. I'm very humbled by that. I I like to go and enjoy my day, and I've had a great day today for sure. And I learned to do these things by myself sometimes because I sometimes can't meet up with somebody. It's always more fun to meet up with somebody and hang out with Tampa J or Gigi or somebody. But I'm used to doing things by myself, and you can go have fun by yourself and go and enjoy a great tour of a museum, some history, or even a theme park, or go out to eat. I guess I'm kind of used to it by now, but I always enjoy myself. Somebody's always messaging me while I'm out, so I'm never alone. I'm going to keep going, finding some more places, and I'm having a great time. I still got a bucket list, and but just one day at a time with it, as my buddy Glenn Scarpelli would say. If you're watching this one, Glenn, I'm not sure. Some of my celebrity friends do watch this channel, Dukes of Hazzard Cast, and other celebrities that are friends with me. And I appreciate them watching, and hopefully we'll get some of them on one day. You never know. We've had several, mostly from the Dukes of Hazzard, but that's who I know, and those are my friends. And I will just keep going out here and finding some more local stuff. If I feel like I'm getting blown away, but the wind feels so good. It's amazing. And remember to keep going out there, making it a great day, because you deserve it.